And we're back. Hi, my name's Charles, and a while back I thought it might be fun to go back to the beginning of Honkai Star Rail and play the story all over again. Last episode, we made our way through the Alchemy Commission, where battles have been fought and the Cloud Knights have won a difficult victory against the disciples of Sanctus Medicus and the Abundance, and we liberated the Aureate Elixir Furnace, which was pumping out gas that was causing the Long-Lived to become Mara-struck and generally unhappy. And in the process, we got into a battle with Dan Heng. Dan Heng uncovered the traitor within our midst and exposed Fantilia, who went mwahahaha and ran off to next location. And we are just about to run off to next location ourselves. Across the way is the Scalegorge Waterscape, and we're about to get on a star skiff and make our merry way over there. But before we do so, there is an important task I need to perform, and that is... One thing that happened last episode is poor little Tingyun turned out to not be our friend after all, but actually be possessed by the Abundance and the Emanator, and just generally had a bit of a snappy experience. And so we can't have her on our team anymore because she's A, traitor, and B, not alive. So what we're going to do is replace her with a very hastily built Yukong. And this is going to be interesting because I've literally never played Yukong before on any of my teams. She's really fiddly to play because she's a buffer, but her buff only lasts for 2 allies' turns. So if you mess up ordering, then things get messed up. Also, she uses a lot more skill points than Tingyun. Just generally, you know, a bit more of a messy character to keep track of, so I never bothered building her before. But out of the characters that I could justify putting on this team, which was basically her, Yanqing, and Qingque, she seemed the most appropriate, and B, because she's a harmony, the most useful. Qingque would use up too many skill points, and Yanqing, the single target DPS probably doesn't help. I might, if Yukong doesn't turn out, I'll swap in Yanqing and see what happens. But let's continue on this way. So we shall get on our boat and go sailing.
That imposter had the audacity to carry out her nefarious plans right under our noses. How utterly despicable. What worries me more is just how many more antimatter saboteurs are at large.
About Tingyun.
It all happened so suddenly. But looking back, I think Mr. Yang was right. Tingyun was behaving strangely. She was fascinated with the Abundance's creations.
Since she was an Amicastor dispatched by the Skyfaring Commission, it's evident that there must indeed be a person with her name in the commission. We'll have to let the Cloud Knights get to the bottom of what happened to the real Tingyun. As for the Tingyun who accompanied us all that way, it's like what Mr. Yang said. Her appearance was designed to sow seeds of doubt among us. We cannot allow ourselves to fall into her trap.
I do remember when I got to the Tingyun reveal the first time around. It was surprising, but it didn't really affect me emotionally in any way. Like, I've seen other reactions, and I don't know, how honest reaction videos on the internet are, where, people are really shocked and like, oh my god, poor Tingyun, I really loved her. But like, my experience of the character up until that point was that she was just kind of there to be Miss Exposition, and it's like, had the character of a slightly wet piece of cardboard otherwise. So I never really got attached to her. I think it was a little bit lazy. The game just figured, hey, cute fox girl, people are gonna like her, we don't need to put any effort into this. And they fix that in later stories where when they want you to care about someone, they actually go to some way of making them likable and plot relevant. But Tingyun was just kind of, she was there to explain what was going on, and then she wasn't there, and I was just like, okay. And so, we've got a bunch of quests ahead of us where we've got to be oh so sad that Tingyun died, and then, a long time in the future, oh so happy when she comes back, but none of that really resonated with me. But anyway, let's just continue on. About Scalegorge Waterscape.
It is a delve governed by the Vidyadhara. Supposedly an ancient oceanic region transferred from the Vidyadhara home planet. After the Ambrosial Arbor was broken in two during the war, its roots were left gnarled and broken. Yet it never died. The Alliance decided to seal the arbor within Scalegorge Waterscape, entrust it to the High Elders of the Vidyadhara, and rely on the power of long scions to constrain it. It has been so long. No one knows whether the seal remains. Even if it does, I doubt it will hinder that spectral Lord Ravager.
Where's Jing Yuan?
Reported the current situation to the seat of Divine Foresight. He made no further contact after we communicated at the Matrix of Prescience. He said he had important matters to personally attend to. The situation stands on the edge of a precipice. We must trust in the General.
Time is of the essence. Let's go. A little while ago.
This is...
The Alchemy Commission.
Huh? You're pretty familiar with this place. Yep, it's the Alchemy Commission. No wonder we were getting those military broadcasts on the way over. Something about the Cloud Knights gathering here, right? They're probably coming to fix the Stellaron problem. It's been such a long journey, but now we're finally gonna meet some Cloud Knights. I'll be back with my unit. I didn't lie to you, right? I told you I'd bring you somewhere safe, and I did. Though, we did take a bit of a detour.
And I can't imagine being surrounded by Cloud Knights is safe for either of these two characters.
Before I arrived in Starskiff Haven, I had a diviner read my fortune for the journey ahead. He told me not to be concerned with the destination, but to seize my chances and travel with the current to reap the greatest harvest.
Meaning?
Meaning, thank you, Miss Sushang.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go report to the nearest captain. You guys can hang around here, but don't run off too far. There'll be Cloud Knights coming to escort you back soon. Bye for now.
Bye. Sushang's very pretty. I think she's very much underrated as a character. I wish I had more excuses to put her on teams. Oh, I can finally text myself again. The Cloud Knights invited us to go with them. Your homeland's got some really big crucibles. Oriat Elixir Furnace? Why are you near the Oriat? Oh, and our texting has stopped again.
The messages never get sent. I wonder what's happening with those three.
Well, it's Silverwolf is messing with the texting system so that we go the way that Elio wants us to go.
Cloud Knights seem to be gathering for the Stellaron disaster. But why did Kafka want us to come here? What happened to them? And what happened to Blade? I've delayed for too long. I need more information.
Okay. Let's go say hi to Sushang. I need to go.
Go where? The Lafu is under lockdown. The Cloud Knights operation isn't over yet. Relax. When the fight is over, I'll personally escort you and Mr. Locha home.
Yeah, well, about the fact that I'm literally banished from this place on, pain of death.
You haven't been back home for a long time, have you, Master Dan Heng?
You could say that.
As home draws nearer, so our feelings grow stronger. I can see it in your eyes. Do you want to leave? Then do it now. The Cloud Knights will soon check our identities. I have somewhere else to be. I've tarried here too long.
Where are you going?
I'm a traveling merchant. I have one more deal to see through.
I have to disappear for a while and show up later in a cutscene. But I think this is about time for Dan Heng to get done gone.
I'm sorry, I have to catch up to my friends. Thank you for looking out for me on this journey. Both of you.
Oops, Yanqing is down there. Don't want to get arrested.
I need to be careful. If I alert the knights, they might take an interest in me.
Better go this way. So I like this. So this is while the main group are down at the Aureate Furnace doing their Aureate Furnace thing. Oh no, they just did the Aureate Furnace thing, didn't they?
What a huge cauldron.
Ooh, baby.
This Aureate cauldron is driven by the cloud hymn magic of our people, the Vidyadhara. It drinks the water of the ancient sea like a whale swallows the tide, and refines it into medicinal pellets.
The voices. So this must be just after we liberated the furnace, right? Because MC texted us and said, hey, I'm at the furnace. So let's go down the lift. See, there we go. That's, yeah, so that's no longer letting out smoke. So I've just missed the Trailblazer. And we will go forward and walk to the next swirly thing.
All the elixir crucibles that the Vidyadhara helped to construct contain cloud hymn magic. You should take this chance to learn more, young master.
Uh-huh. But I don't need any sort of device to help me command water. What more is there to learn?
You are indeed the chosen one, with endless potential. Yet, cloud hymn magic is just the beginning.
Of Vidyadhara Mirajago? Have these shadows of the past yet to disperse? These memories... No.
So is...
They have nothing to do with me anymore.
Oh, yes, they do. So I guess the little one is little, Danfeng. Little Imbibita Lunae learning how to use Cloud Hymn magic.
They say that you're Lung's power incarnate. Is that true?
Long. I was exiled from the Shenzhou. I'm no longer one of the Scions of Permanence.
I don't think it's something you stop being just because you get exiled. I mean, you're still a dragon boy.
I doubt I will be here to see you take charge. No need to feel aggrieved. Vidyadhara go through cycles of life and death, existing forever in this world. By the time you are the High Elder, my hatching rebirth will be complete, and I will be a child once again. Please, take care of me.
There was a quest that I somehow haven't done yet, so I don't know where it's sequenced in the story, where you meet somebody who's one of the long-lifed Luofu residents who fell in love with a dragon, and the dragon keeps going through the rebirth, and he keeps trying to re-win her heart or something, and I can't remember the exact details of the quest, except I think, at some point she was like, I'm a completely new person, I don't want anything to do with you, and things got very sad, and it was like a good, just random quest that was a depiction of all the things you needed to know about the Vidyadhara life cycle, just packaged up in a story.
It's you! You've returned, High Elder.
And I always kind of assumed it happened before this moment, because it would have been good to, teach people about the the dragon stuff. So maybe it's just a quest chain that is at the end of something I haven't done because it's one of those interstitial quests I've been occasionally doing when I need strails.
Something terrible is happening in Scalegorge Waterscape. Please, don't go any further. Your enemies are waiting for you.
I'm sorry. I cannot linger here. My friends have left. I must find them.
And so mysteriously these past echoes go from just literally being echoes of the past to warning us in the present about what's about to happen.
You didn't heed us then, and won't heed us now. As headstrong as you always were, it seems you already made your decision. There is a vessel bound for Scalegorge Waterscape, located ahead.
He's here.
Right on time.
That feeling, Kafka. It's welling up within me. That feeling. It's
Concentrated emo.
Well, don't resist. Let the Mara strike you.
You're here. It's time to pay the price! It's time! You think changing form will help you escape? Escape.
I've told you and that woman many times. I am Dan Heng. I have nothing to do with your past.
Dan Heng. You think another name and face can blot out the sin of your past? You didn't even experience death. I will force this suffering upon you, Dan Heng. You will know the pain of death.
Not on my watch. You're not murdering anyone today, fugitive. You're coming with me.
Jing Yuan's lapdog. Did the general not teach you to choose your battles wisely?
Hey, move back. Things are about to... Huh? You look so familiar.
Look out!
Quit hiding. Your true self revealed.
Stop!
Oh no, done.
I have news for you, boy. Behind you is none other than the traitor of the Xianzhou. A criminal forever banished. The High Elder of the Vidyadhara. Imbibitor Lunae. You really thought the Stellaron Hunters were the only ones to infiltrate the Xianzhou?
In that case, I'll bring both of you to justice.
Okay, now that was a character entrance.
I've heard of you, Imbibitor Lunae. First it was the Stellaron Hunters, now an exiled criminal has infiltrated the Xianzhou. Sword, heed me.
I have no interest in stoking conflict. I came to ensure the safety of my friends.
Save your excuses for the shackling prison.
Out of the way! Do not be afraid.
Okay, so this is a demo character because I think this was the patch Imbibed Lune was introduced in. I'm not sure, but you may or may not have him. And this is the kind of teaser, like, you kind of want this guy.
Better, but I'm afraid you won't be seeing your friends. They're caught in their own bitter struggle.
Silence! You're not getting away either!
Is that so? Let's heat things up then. Kafka?
Lady, listen to me. Unleash the Mara.
So it begins.
Actually, I'm not sure what order Blade and Dan Heng were released. I think Blade was released first, so...
Surrender!
This is just kind of a demo of what their abilities are.
What's wrong? Afraid to hurt the boy? Fail to send you.
You're all in on it!
I wonder if the others are okay. Gotta make this quick.
Poor little Yanqing is taking a lot of damage here. He's doing his best, but he's fighting two literal legends.
Just won't give up. I only have one choice.
So familiar. Did she teach you? Then you deserve no mercy.
Can't delay any longer. I didn't wish to harm anyone.
Use Fulgurant Leap.
There's no other way. Forgive me.
I failed. This isn't over.
Don't worry, Yanqing, you will be temporarily a lot more annoying at the end of Sim Universe.
Stop.
Well, Blady, are you satisfied?
What did you do?
I'm just clearing the stage for the grand entrance. Can't have you three misbehaving in front of the Luofu's hotshot general.
Qing Yuan.
General!
Just a little nod there. Like, you did well, kid. All things considered.
Many years have passed since the two of you departed the Xianzhou, and yet the circumstances of your return appear to be equally unhappy. If you still thought of me as a friend, you should have forewarned me.
I think Blade kind of did, didn't he? There was a cutscene.
My task is complete.
That it is. Thank you for assisting the Xianzhou in this small matter. Take this person away. I will pretend I didn't see anything this time.
General,
Now is not the time.
Oh, harsh.
It has been a long time, old friend.
I'm not him.
You look like him. You've got like the horns and shit.
I'm sorry. You cannot leave yet. Your Astral Express friends are waiting for you in Scalegorge Waterscape. Shall we go and see them together? Lunarescent Depths, a realm of singular beauty. Scalegorge Waterscape is the same as when I last laid eyes on it. And here we stand so different from one another. The flesh of long-lived species may be immortal, but the constant of heaven and earth eludes them.
You know the Vidyadhara hatching rebirth cycle, General. The waters of the ancient sea have cleansed Dan Feng of his past sin. The person that once stood here alongside you is no more. I am Dan Heng. Whether Dan Feng was hero or villain has nothing to do with me. I bore his punishment, accepted my eternal banishment without complaint. But do not let his shadow cloud your estimation of me, General.
So this goes back to what I was saying about the Vidyadhara in a previous video about, is being repeatedly reborn like that any kind of immortality, or really is it in any way distinguishable from just dying and having a single child who grows up? Like, if there is no maintenance of identity between the generations, it's really just the reuse of flesh, which it's there's metaphysical questions about souls and stuff which I won't go into because it's fiction, but it gets messy with the Dan Heng Dan Feng thing because it's established as we go that he does have some kind of identity or memory connection with his previous self because that's a property of High Elders. So it's a little... So the idea that, is the rebirth, actually a cleansing of sins when it's not a complete cleansing of identity then becomes a question that I think has a pretty shades of grey answer.
Raising old nets only darkens the water, an exercise in unhappiness. Perhaps it is your visage, the horns on your head, or the unmistakable air of the High Elder that makes the separation nigh impossible for me.
I already told you.
You did. But to what effect? If words alone were enough to change the heart, this world would be without quarrel. If you wish to rid me of the illusion of Dan Feng, you must do something for me. Before I can let Dan Feng die and revoke your banishment edict, I need him to do me one final favor. I can guarantee you that when it is done, you will no longer walk in anyone's shadow aboard the Luofu.
See, G-Un's playing the long game here.
May not be capable of the things that Dan Feng was capable of.
You must do it, or my promise will count for naught. If you wish to blame someone, blame your previous incarnation. Had he not committed that terrible sin, had the power of dragon transmutation been passed on intact, I would have no need to compel you. It is as I said. Here we stand so different from one another. Dan Feng is no more. Now, there is only Dan Heng. I am the general of the Luofu. There are things that I wish I did not have to do, and yet I must.
So we're at an interesting point in the story right now where, we are aware that Dan Heng was previously Dan Feng, and then there was one of these Vidyadhara rebirths, and that Dan Feng did incredibly bad things that are, when you do something so bad, it has a name, like the sedition of Imbibitor Lunae. You know it's going to be pretty bad. You don't actually know what that bad thing is, though. And I'm aware that this annoyed a lot of people, this like not knowing the details, but it's actually one of the things about the story that I kind of enjoyed. Like, I like stories that, you know, present a mystery and you know enough of the background of that mystery to understand what's going on in the present day and get some idea of the motivations of the characters, but you don't know everything and it gets, you know, revealed over time as you experience the whole story, and I kind of like that, but I understand that, you know, it wasn't everybody's cup of tea.
Let us talk of happier tidings. The friends you made on the Express are here. Do you wish to see them?
You brought them here?
Well, they kind of brought themselves here.
They are waiting in the Dragon Vista Rain Hall. I have been keeping careful watch against the abominations of abundance, the Stellaron hunters, and the disciples of Sanctus Medicus. But I never anticipated the Antimatter Legion. The hunt is far from over, yet all the while we find ourselves at war with other evil spirits. From this battle onward, the Alliance must fight the Legion to our dying breath, even if it means the end of the Law Fu. Our intelligence tells us that the Legion are a mad and destructive war machine. Yet they never took up arms against the Alliance. The armies of the Seven Ravagers all have their own means of destruction. They are not to be taken lightly. Lord Ravager Fantilia favors internal collapse, which is why she masterminded the Stellaron crisis and urged the disciples of Sanctus Medicus out of the shadows. Now that her plot has been laid bare, she has no choice but to retreat. And yet that hardly suits her philosophy of destruction. There must be something more.
The other thing about Fantilia in this plot line, which is, you know, probably one of the big flaws in this plot, is that Fantilia just kind of comes into existence at, you know, the end of last episode, and then we go through this sequence, and then we fight her, and she just really has no time to establish herself as a villain, or even as a character. She's just kind of a force of nature that appears to be a boss battle at the end of this patch. And, you know, it again, much like the lack of investment in Ting Yun's character, like, cheapening the act of having her die, the lack of investment in Fantilia as a villain cheapens, you know, the act of defeating her.
Her hatching rebirth is complete. She left me all alone. Still, I wait for the day of my rebirth. Endless waiting.
I'm gonna go talk to this Echo.
As recorded in the ancient texts, this body of water was brought by my people from our homeworld. It formed part of the roiling deep. It is as pure here as it was there. Our dragon ancestors nurtured us with the water of life, and bestowed us with the permanence of the Vidyadhara.
There's a lot of hand-waving in this whole thing about how all of this is the inside of a spaceship. And, like, the idea that all the water around us was, you know, was transported off a planet and used to seed this waterscape in the ship. And cool, but it doesn't feel like you're aboard a spaceship most of the time. Or like any of the time.
Great crime. The Ten Lords Commission advocated strongly for him to be destroyed. The Vidyadhara, on the other hand, were split evenly in their favor and disfavor of the motion. The dragon transmutation inheritance was not intact after all. The senior Vidyadhara hated you. yet did not dare to kill you. The Vidyadhara were under great pressure. In order to placate the 10 lords and skyfaring commissions, they performed an exuviation charm on Don Fong against his will. Still, they ensured that the charm contained a flaw, thinking that this would fool the 10 lords' commission. The senior Vidyadhara were sure of their scheme. But you cannot hide fire with paper.
And one more little memory looking out over the water.
Waters of the ancient sea, cleanse me. Waters of the ancient sea, protect me. This world's good karma is settled. This life's misfortune is erased.
So it's a spiritual place. And we have dead bodies of Antimatter Legion and... oh, my friends are up. What? They're fighting our thing.
Your friends are taking the fight to the Legion as we speak.
We need to help them. Let's go!
Aha.
Heaven's Search.
So...
Cloud-bearing dragon. Rise!
Let's make it
that's a bit of a cheat.
How about this?
A foregone conclusion.
Okay. And they give us Jingyuan.
Heaven's Search.
So we don't actually have his abilities, we just get the fully charged blast attack every time, which is funny.
Celestial Dragon. Quick!
This is our chance.
A foregone conflict is pitiless.
My turn. Stay right there while I give you a present. You can't run. You're annoying.
And hello, Lightning Lord.
Search. Cloud-bearing dragon. Rise!
Oh. This is a 3-phase fight, and I'm out of,
Batter up!
Heaven's Search.
points. Skill points.
Celestial Dragon. Quick!
Follow my charge.
Good thing Dan doesn't use skill points. Things nobody will say again. Though I should probably hit the one on the end.
Time for the Radiant Spirit. Heed my word. Show no mercy!
Such a cool ult.
Try that again.
Rules are made to be broken!
Oops, bit of a recording glitch there.
Yeah!
Heaven's Search. Cloud-bearing dragon. Rise!
A foregone conclusion.
You have the worst luck running into me. Gotta try hard sometimes. Check out this awesome move.
Heaven's Search. Rise!
Jingyuan, where have you been?
Just, here and there.
Forgive my late arrival, Lady Fu. We are indebted to you and your forces. The Seat of Divine Foresight relayed the battle reports to me. As for Fantilia's plan,
The Ambrosial Arbor. That's her focus. Lord Ravager Fantilia's strategy was to create civil strife, then let it consume the Xianzhou from within. She wanted to use the Arbor to disseminate the power of the Plague's author, and turn the Luofu into a hell of undying abominations.
That is clear to me now. Friends of the Astral Express, I have brought someone with me whom I think you'll be eager to see.
Huh? Is that... Dan Heng? You are Dan Heng, right? What's with the horns?
It's an honestly good question.
It's a long story, March. It's me.
So, you do have secret strength.
Let us save such reminiscence for later, shall we? My astral guests. When you first appeared on the Luofu, your stated aim was the resolution of the Stellaron crisis. I was concerned that the Stellaron hunters harbored ulterior motives and refused your offer. I see now that I was overly anxious. Nevertheless, it is true that the motives of the Stellaron hunters were not what they appeared. In order that the Express and the Xianzhou fight side by side, Kafka lured you here and broadened the scope of the crisis. In doing so, she succeeded in making it clear that your sincerity is beyond doubt. The Luofu is in your debt, and I have no right to seek further assistance from you.
And yet, you're just about to.
However, as Lady Fu has explained, the appearance of Fantilia means that the situation is far from under our control. As General of the Luofu, it would be foolish of me not to ask Dan Heng and the rest of you for your strength at this critical moment.
Even if the crisis on the Luofu had nothing to do with the Stellaron, I would be willing to help. But I can't speak for the other members of my crew. Explore, understand, establish, and connect. As the crew of the Express, that's the Trailblaze creed we follow. Still, when the journey gets tough, those words can feel far off. Fear, risk, enemies, and death are the obstacles we face in pursuit of the creed. That's why the nameless who are able to stay the course number few indeed. Whether our destination lies before us or behind us, the decision is ours to make. Here, as on the Express, every vote counts.
Dan Heng?
Ooh, you get to decide for Dan. I think Dan's in.
Thank you, Dan Heng.
How am I still one of the nameless? I stand here at the mercy of others without true freedom to speak. But as a descendant of the Vidyadhara, I will fulfill my duty to the Luofu.
Great! Everyone's just as heroic as when they arrived. So, what's the master plan, General?
There is no master plan. Only
Just a master stroke.
a bet on the senior Vidyadhara's incomplete exuviation charm. And on Dan Heng's ability to access the memories of the High Elder.
High Elder?
When the Rainbow Arbiter severed the Ambrosial Arbor, remnants of the curse of the Plague's author lingered. In order to make the stemming of those remnants a possibility, the Luofu invoked the power of the Scions of Permanence. Under the direction of the High Elder, The Videodora guided the waters of the ancient sea to flood the Scalegorge Waterscape delve and contain the arbor. To commemorate this magnificent feat and sacrifice, the Alliance erected the Dragon Vista Rain Monument, a Videodora statue.
It looks so much like Dan Heng. I wonder if...
Music sting.
The statue... Is that... Dan Heng's brother?
Oh, so close.
I see why you might think so. These events occurred a long time ago. Yet successive generations of High Elders have not differed greatly in their appearance. That is, until the current generation. The most recent successor did not inherit the same level of power, and their appearance is that of a child. Do you understand, Dan Heng? Since Dong Feng perished, the Luofu Videodora have no longer had an individual capable of performing such feats. But you, who once kept watch over the arbor, should be able to open a way through to that great tree. What happens next is in your hands.
Old friends, meet yet again.
So let's go talk to our friends and see what they have to say.
You scared the heck out of me! For a second I thought you'd annoyed the General. It seemed like you were his prisoner. There I was, thinking up a plan to kidnap you, and it turns out the two of you are old buddies. So, what made you suddenly decide to come down from the Express?
Well, I was worried for your safety. I saw March... no, not March. Although, you know, March is dangerous too. I saw Blade, and I thought, oh, Blade's a deadly person. But turns out he was only here to stab me.
Aw, how sweet. But Mr. Yang and I have been holding our own. We're pretty much Xianzhou heroes at this point. Anyway, it's great to have you with us, Dan Heng.
Great to be here. I mean, I guess I should put Dan in the team.
Coming here triggered your memory. Release your full potential. The power you carry is the key to opening a way through to the Ambrosial Arbor.
I knew you'd come. When we first mentioned the Xianzhou, there was a sad look in your eyes. They may have banished you, but the Luofu is still your home.
Thanks for all your help along the way. I'm sorry I never spoke up.
You're a member of the Express crew. Let's settle this matter as soon as possible. Our journey doesn't end here.
And what does Fushen have to say to us?
Imbibitor Lunay's reincarnation. Dong Heng, correct? I've heard your name before.
How can that be? My name was erased.
Your name was only erased from the public eye. But as the Master Diviner, I know, and should know, all the records of years gone by. Such archives are of great importance in times of need. I was not born in the heroic and extraordinary era of the High Cloud Quintet. To have seen those legends with my own eyes.
Go on.
Your appearance closely matches the depiction in the annals. Does Videodora reincarnation really entail a complete transformation? A new life?
Kind of does.
The General still has important matters to discuss with you. Please remain here.
I wasn't running away, I was just, like, looking at the paintings. Like, we have these... I guess these are Vidyara, like, pilgrims and... Okay, let's see what Carlfish has to say. Carlfish looks at you as you both become silent. Carlfish shakes his head. He doesn't want to speak. Nobody can get him to open up. Like, they play the silent protagonist thing, but I think part of the thing about this game is that the protagonist actually has more lines than... Well, Zenless Zone Zero, the protagonists have lots of lines, but it's because they're actual characters. But I digress. So we have talked to everybody, we are standing underneath our statue. It's time for, hands down, the best cutscene in the game, and no, I will not broach any argument about this. The statue of the High Elder has been greatly changed by years of weathering. There are small words engraved near its base. Hearken, as Arbor revives and foe nears, we call forth the mighty waters of ancient sea, to flood abodes of heaven and quell roots of evil. We etch this in stone for all to heed. Try to feel the great power here. Beneath the endless rolling waves, the ancient roots of the arbor blaze, long dormant they stir and come to life, as if a beast was waking from its strife. The containment mechanisms woven by past thrones, the bindings that tamed the beast's power known, a fragile net, soon to shatter and fall, its decay a warning, heard by one and all. Memories from the past emerge from the darkness, tightly gripping you.
The annals mention that Scalegorge Waterscape was once the location of Dragon Palace. Small wonder. Look at all these submerged structures.
I was fortunate enough to be here during the Shuhu upheaval period. I witnessed this place in its prime. An age passed. The palace was left in ruins, and the Vidyadhara used their sacred homeland to imprison the Arbor. The Luofu and the Xianzhou are greatly indebted to them. Lady Fu.
Here, General.
Remain here. Lead the Cloud Knights in defense of this passage. We must prevent further incidents.
Jingyuan, General, are you planning to face Gantilia alone?
I wouldn't say so. I'll be counting on a few friends for support.
That's us.
General, don't cast us aside. We're willing to go with you.
Look at you, you're NPCs.
Yes, General. We may not be the mightiest force, but it's our duty as Cloud Knights to protect the Xianzhou. How can we let Outworlders face the danger while we stay behind the lines? With your permission, sir, allow me to lead the way.
I understand your sentiments, soldiers. But the adversary ahead of us is not an abomination of abundance. They are a Lord Ravager of the Antimatter Legion. Crossing this line will bring you into the conflict between the Rainbow Arbiter and the Ruin Author. You have a more important duty. Cloud Knights, attention! After I enter the Ambrosial Arbor, and if the seawater returns to its original state, you must withdraw immediately and seal off the delve once more. The Master Diviner will lead you.
Yes, General!
Lady Fu, if I am unable to return, I entrust you with the important task of relaying the full account to the other Xianzhou ships.
I trust you will be here to reissue the order in person. But whatever the outcome, I will do as you command and honor the mission.
Spoken like a true general.
Sorry, it's such a good cutscene. Just the parting of the waters, revealing this whole, like, landscape before us. You got, like, dragons still swimming in the waters behind these things. You've got the Arbor Dragon up ahead of us. And, that, like, gorgeous, like, musical sting that hits. It just blows me away every time. I think part of the reason I wanted to do this episode was so that I could have a video recording of that cutscene. So anyway, we are about to descend into Scalegorge Waterscape, where there will be puzzles to unpuzzle to unlock the battle with Phantilia. But that will all have to happen in the next episode. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I will see you next time.